Ну чё, мы с вами снова в Ревашоле. Я стою сейчас рядом с трупом, который, скорее всего, как лично я считаю, как даже Ким считает, умер не от повешения, на самом деле. Да. Поэтому нам надо сообразить, в мусорку его хрен положишь, мне кажется. Он в мусорке еще дальше будет декомпостироваться, поэтому херня. У меня 67% одинокой дороги домой, в принципе, есть. У меня уже время на исходе, так что мне нужно заняться этим побыстрее. Надо открыть квартиру в танцах в Варване, по-моему. Блять, я не понимаю, как они называются. Ну да, Whirling in the Rugs, да, это я знаю. Припиели в Варване. Так, и кроме этого, что у нас? Ну, в принципе, больше ничего. Наверное, надо по рации сообщить пару моментов. Пушки и прочее уже ищут профсоюз, так что... Ну... Так...
This is Precinct 57.
Hello, Alice. Please assist our colleague from the phone.
Operating the radio is easy. Just be confident. You've probably done it 1,000 times.
This is Officer Alice Demetri, Precinct 57.
Under the green prime line, a yellow saved button catches your eye. You wonder what the lieutenant's default radio station is.
О, вот, серийный номер бронированных ботинок.
What's the number? And the make of the armor, if you know it?
Да, ну вот, ну я записывал, конечно, но да.
I'll contact the ICP database immediately. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully.
The International Collaboration Police
Точно.
ICP is an inter-Isolari law enforcement service. The crown jewel in the moral intern.
Okay.
Of course. What is the number, officer?
Yes, hold on. Her number is... Oh.
Received. Hold on, officer.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi slowly begins to tap a little rhythm.
Помехи.
Officer, I have Sylvie Malaika on the line
вот.
for you. Yes, hello? Oh, right. Hello, officer. What can I do for you?
Вы не видели мой пистолет?
You mean, why did I leave the bar?
Да.
Honestly, I'm...
Why not?
Да.
Let's just say I left because I needed to get away from someone. What? No, why would you even think that? Please, don't bring Gar into this. It's none of your business.
God, why can't you just mind your own business? She mutters.
Ну,
I already
я
said I don't
полиция.
want to talk about this. You're messing everything up again. No, not me. No, sorry. I don't. Not a lot of people don't have the money to have the cables put in again.
So the union has a phone. And there's one further down the coast.
Один.
Got it.
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later.
Окей.
It just might take a while.
What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the union already knew. No one calls the police. The union would get angry. You know, what the union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, just like everyone here. I don't know what to tell you, officer. I didn't call you because I didn't want to get in trouble with the other. Yeah, go on. I do hope so. Please, don't call me again. Bye.
Она на вас сердится, что ли? Но почему? Добро.
No, she doesn't have a problem with you. It must be someone else she's angry about. You know women and their constant problems. Yap, nag. That's where you step in. You're Lieutenant Love.
Да, давай
Matchmaker
без этого.
extraordinaire. What misogyny? I'm just telling things the way they are. You have to act, Lieutenant Love. You have to calm that hysteric down. Think you can do that, Lieutenant Love?
Ах, я
You're
нет.
just a gimp.
Да и
What?
пошел
Call was
ты.
terminated by the other party. Anything else, officer?
Так.
Just a second, officer.
10-2, 10-5, this is 41st, coming.
The man uses relay code. You got this. You're a cop.
10-4, message received, 10-5, relay message, what's your status? 10-18, state your message, sir.
Окей, ну, мне кажется, что то же самое сейчас будет. Поэтому я просто
Roger
прерву.
that, 10-10, over and out.
Ладно. С Сильвией мы поговорили, узнали про 2 телефона и передали информацию о серийном номере ботинок. Кто позвонил, неизвестно. Узнать информацию о серийном номере, это в процессе. Шлюз в среду надо открывать. Окей. Мгм. Я что-то забыл. Да, точно, я вспомнил, что я забыл. Я забыл про навыки, да. Вот. Что у нас тут есть? Скорость реакции, энциклопедия, внутренняя империя, пати, авторитет, полицейская волна. Давайте я, наверное, воткну... Мне вот энциклопедия, в принципе, нравится. Я вот еще раз ее, наверное, вкачаю. А по поводу другого, давайте посмотрим. Вот тут. Боевой дух. Грубая сила. Химия, трепет, сумрак. Давай самообладание разок прокачаем, кстати. Или... Не-не-не, давай... Давай, знаешь что, вот концептуализацию давай. Нет, это к искусству. Жди. Во, визуальный анализ я хотел прокачать. Потому что я помню, у меня из-за высокого визуального анализа у меня был типа прикол, то, что я мог посмотреть, сколько этих есть шагов. Это очень полезно. И давайте ебанемся. Ну хотя, блин, они у меня все высокие. Может что-то, что низкое ложится. Если на планету тусовок, графи мышцами, болевой порог, стойкость. Стойкость. Давай стойкость, кстати говоря, дважды прокачаем. Я так полагаю, она же это здоровье увеличивает. Было бы логично. О, ебать, да. Нормально. Все равно слабый был навык. Хорошо, что я его прокачал. Пригодится все равно как-нибудь. Так. У меня... Давайте попробуем вскрыть квартиру тогда, эту потенциального противника профсоюза.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimpled lock. The cobalt blue surface, old cobalt paint. Rough. It leads to a side building, adjacent to this one. The door does not.
Подожди, чё? Так, я, видимо, неправильно понял. Вот. Эрвар, ключ у вас, дверь находится в дворе... за теплицей. Все понятно. Я думаю... В принципе, неудивительно. Время уже 6, но... Буду пропустил. Все равно. Ладно. Мгм. Мне надо, значит... А, кстати, я получил ключ? Я вот уже и не помню.
This trash container
Да.
with a well-oiled don't. Maybe you shouldn't.
А почему?
Just a feeling. A warning from some part of you.
Yeah.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
Ну, да, я это и ожидал увидеть.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. You've done this before. The movements are recorded in your elbows, the methodology in your fingers. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are among the threadbare kitchen towels something as the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garment.
The victim's clothes? Cadaver in odor is faint. Drop them in here, officer. Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty.
Предмет гитары.
Or empty. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything?
Something slimy catches your eye. A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor.
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug.
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one.
The fuck's he on about? Kids? You hear that?
See? Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and is established.
The lieutenant nods,
Ну
then
да.
looks back into the trash container. You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of
Да, кстати,
only in
антиквариат.
its social sensibility. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hand. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist
О,
papers
я
hanging
походу
from it.
нашел свои
They look
документы.
Officer, is that your... Yes, it is. Look, this plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an... If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash? Understood.
Да.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
Ну, хотя бы я
one
нашел
thing off the
документы.
list. I think we got it all. You said you didn't want to talk about the ledger. However, now that you have it back,
Классно. День у меня. Почный журнал.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? It's a metaphor. Thank you, waterlogged ledger, for spelling it out for us.
Ах,
It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want. Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, looks like an official mark, made to be low visible.
what? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property. Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
This means you can read the watermarks
Uh-huh.
if you just turn the lights on.
окей.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand. It's a sorry sight. They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol and covered in dense... Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100. Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51. This year. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases. What do you mean? Is that all? The notebook is annual. It says 51 on what remains of its cover. A molten strap of cardboard. Everything prior to this must have belonged to a previous volume. In short...
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it. 2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of... It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extreme.
вот
Yes,
принцип наименования.
it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has a title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next Word. Others appear more light-hearted. The guy's on a couch in an unexpected location. And it's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close, there is, for precisely 1 more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It will do. The lieutenant looks at his blue note. He is not really saying anything, just standing.
Know that I give this to you with resentment.
Ну ладно.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand, uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The word: inspect the victim's body, get the body down, interview the cafeteria. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be a satisfying slash sounds across. You're a swashbuckler with that pen,
О, боевой дух.
and it feels good. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality.
No, actually. Any ideas?
На палке. Повешенный давай просто.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Нифига себе, ты как-то прям энергично так мне ответил, я даже не ожидал от себя.
Yes, how very childish of you. In my defense, it's a holdover from the early days of the RCM. Right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I pray his loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
You don't exactly close them so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose.
Нифига себе, блин, высокие шансы. Да, вот.
Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the
Да,
scene,
офицер.
followed by the title. Why, yes, your precinct, every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. I got nothing here either. Logic really isn't the best. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start?
Давай не закрываем это дело.
AKA Leslie and Burke. AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot the only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking, threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, he must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're drunk at feet. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeable can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke, which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing.
Окей, интересно.
Do you want to read another one?
Ладно, нет, я попозже.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from. In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red. All then rip them from the binder and hand them out. 3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. And you don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceit. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much. It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size ball. Something rattles inside, and something small inside. Light, permeables. It's not hidden per se. The compartment is made for permeable. The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not seethed. With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip, screwed to the top of the board.
Нормально, ну давай.
Is not what you
Нет, ну что ж, такой
the
92%.
The ledger quivers in your hand. As it shakes, the pages rustle. This pathetic mess suddenly afraid of you for some reason. The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint, like the bits they put into public piss bowls, probably called Fermi discrete or axle. Your nose does not understand. The lieutenant observes you, raising and lowering the toilet waterlogged mat.
Excuse me, I just have to ask again. How did it get in the trash? I'm sad to hear that. In any case, we are lucky you found it. Make sure it's all in there. Official note. Now, if you'll excuse me, that thing has filled me with the sudden urge.
Needless, it looks great. Unlike yours, which is an unholy mass dripping with excrement.
Ну да, вполне логично. Желтый человек?
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage? But it was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see?
Ладно. Так. Блять, а чё с Куно? Что-то я что-то не помню, чтобы он на этих на коленках стоял.
Fuck does Kuno care? So?
А, да, точно.
North Jamrock. Kuno meant everything north of 881. The rooster fucked.
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello.
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on. What is this? trying to be cool with your new asshole. Kuno was just being after this shit. You better have something real.
Yeah, real interesting.
Окей, ладно.
Kuno doesn't.
Удачи, Куну.
Lonesome, long way home.
Одинокая дорога домой. Я завершил. Нормально, мысль. Классно.
Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past
Ну,
Station
41
41
час.
and through the
Рынок,
market,
11.
past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district.
Тишина.
Then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox.
Speed
11 Voyager Road.
Ладно,
You no
пси.
longer live there.
Нормально. Блин, ну неплохо, че. Вот оно что, Михалыч. Нужны очки навыков, чтобы разблокировать. Вот оно чё. Ё-моё. Ну что ж, ну давайте тогда, блин, будем разблокировать эти, потому что, ну типа, да. Как-то, да. Что случилось с Гиом Лемийоном? Ну, это глупая, конечно, хрень. А вот в реальности алкоголик. Твои мысли заблуждаются, несутся бешеным галопом. Вот, давай попробуем бросить пить, мне кажется. Это будет по-мужицки. Я прокачал себе восприятие вроде, да? Если не ошибаюсь. У меня лимит повышен до 5. И что еще? Кто сложил одежду в мусор и прочитать водяные... да. Погнали, прочитаем водяные знаки на папке с документами. Да.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to...
The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jump like a leopard waking from its sleep. The lights unfold with a little click.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done.
Окей. Отлично.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears.
There she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro perforations.
Вот он о чем.
The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. You catch a faint glimmer from a broken beer bottle in the distance. Sound.
Martinez at night. Let me see. Right here. No, it does not.
Ладно.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate. The first row has 18 dots. The next is the longest. It runs all, you count, 216 perforations. Considering that nice, large number, the last row has that's it.
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your...
Alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers. Often.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay.
17 лет,
What
ё-моё.
did you do before you volunteered? No shame in working a regular job, detective. Sometimes after this next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Wow, more than 200. It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers. Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there. For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 40, there are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do have, but it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for. Yes. Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies. Why not gardening? You've already got the gloves.
А, кстати, да. Нормально.
The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page.
О. Нифига себе. Статистика в журнале. То есть здесь вот, да? 16, 3 года, год службы 17 лет. Хороший, плохой коп 9. Не знаю, что это означает. Моралист 3, ультралиберал 4, фашист 3, коммунист 2. Жалкий коп 1, коп зануда 1. Нормально. Хорошо. В принципе, да. Ага, и стемнело. Конечно же, да. Ну, с другой стороны, время 8 уже. Так что неудивительно. Я попробую сходить до... Опа, что такое?
Whoa. What have we here?
Мост.
A bridge with loose nails and rot-infested wood that creaks in the wind. A construction...
True. They never cleaned up the war damage. The rest of Revachol looks better, though. The bridge is fine enough. Locals use it all the time, after all. It's...
Окей. Так, мне надо... Наверное, здесь как-то, да? Да. Где-то здесь надо пройти. Балкон сегодня на двор. И на дерево. О, слушай. Возможно, я узнаю больше информации здесь. Линия пулевых отверстий.
This must be it.
А вот
The
дверь
basement
на
door is
цокольной.
weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place. The royal lion. Guillaume's kitten. This knocker will last a lifetime and then some. You knock silently. The upholstery muff.
I guess no one is in?
The leather upholstery is worn and rough. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp.
Да,
Let's be honest. This isn't what I joined the RCM for,
согласен.
but every day tells you. Apparently, working with the local union boss to get info on an investigation is not something. I mind that the local thug is using the RCM for his busy work. But if this gets us to the bottom of the... On the other hand, we could just leave and tell Evrart we opened the door. No one seems to be tailing us to see if we actually did it. Yes, presenting a fabrication is known to get results here and there. You took this task. You make the call.
The door is right here. You can just
О,
open it and be done with this.
не, вообще... Мне кажется, что все-таки надо рискнуть, потому что мне известно, что профсоюз заставил исчезнуть предыдущего главу профсоюза. Мне известно, что профсоюз обладает очень серьезной силой, очень серьезным влиянием здесь. Потому как долгое время никто, ну вот даже Сильвия, да, она не позвонила, потому что она боялась то, что ее накроет профсоюз после этого. Поэтому, если я сейчас солгу, не помню, как его, Жиробасу, то очень вероятно, что я пистолет не увижу никогда. В лучшем случае. А в худшем случае меня этим же пистолетом пристрелят. Поэтому...
You try to be as silent as you can. Finally, the door unlocks with a small... There's nothing else to do than to leave and tell Everard. There might be important information in the...
Ну да, может быть информация, потому что
Yes.
недалеко. Не, ладно, давай зайдем. Чемоданчик набитой одежды. Либо кто-то приехал в гости, либо кто-то пытается съебаться. Магний. что такое? Единственный герой фэнтези с накачанными мускулами. Он-то пахнет дезинфекцией. Хо. Тайный мир тростей. Тайный мир трости.
A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amid a little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely up. There's something disdainful in the way the curves and lines of them. It looks like the artist is celebrating diversity, but underneath, he's just making fun of these people. You ain't gonna change someone's mind. The lieutenant picks up one of them.
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment.
Да, кстати говоря, желтая кружка.
Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much.
There's the missing tin soldier. Whoever lives here might have used the Whirling's container to the... And now they've drawn the ire of the Union. The plot thickens, as they say.
An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues. down the road.
Да, ну типа она же была в том же мусоре вместе.
Who knows? I'm not expecting too much from this clothes in the trash lead either way. It might turn out to be some...
You could ask Everard who this person is.
Да. Очень интересно, очень интересно. Так, я открыл. Карта. Добудьте копию карты города. Понятно. Ключик наверху мог быть свидетелем. Да, это я уже вот как раз подумал об этом. Но только как мне до него добраться, это вопрос.
There must be another way into the building.
Ебать, нихуя себе, Ким, ты чё, охуел, что ли? Ебать.
I knew I should have quit.
Ким, ты... Подождите секунду. Он меня напугал похлеще, чем Outlast, на самом деле. Фу. Так, окей. Окей. Мне надо сообщить Эрвару об этом. У нас...
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest.
Так, ну это тут мне не поможет ничего. К сожалению. Можем поговорить снова с представительницей антистачечников.
What can I help you with?
О, да, кстати. Татуировки.
You have. And how did you like Mr. Clare?
Да, мне он...
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have... Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt verm. How could I stop you? Are we not human?
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Of course, detective. Until then, is there anything I can help you
Да,
with?
вот.
That's
Насчет
the man who
звезд.
was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this.
Окей, я понял. Интересно. Значит, связь какая-то есть между татуировками. Да, но нам нужно разобраться, все-таки линчевание это было или нет. Или да, или нет. Так. Эти товарищи все еще тут.
There are clothes inside.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality.
Save the economy? That sounds off. You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from... The box smells like cat piss.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first hand, buy second hand. Keep the...
Something cold grazes your hand. Synthetic. This jacket is the apex of human evil.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's
Плюс
only
самообладание,
$4.50,
минус трепет. Сколько? Не, это половина всех моих денег. Ладно, давай. Я не буду. Мне еще надо разобраться с тем, что делать с жильем. Ну хотя нет, с жильем я уже разобрался, по идее. Мне нужно просто дойти туда, куда я должен дойти. Так, ладно. Эрвар. Мне нужно до него прямо дойти. Да, я не могу с ним поговорить, с Мьянмой. Как его? Маньяна, да.
Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole. Like I said before, I don't know much about this weasel, but the bossman said he's a real piece of work. Thanks.
Yes?
Не, я просто случайно на тебя кликнул. Давай пойдем к Арвару. Прямиком к Арвару. Надеюсь, он там еще сидит. Так, давай спускайся. Так. Мужик. Нет, мужик здесь. Точно. Ладно, не надо с ним говорить. Так.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair. I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble...
He's trying to figure out if you're lying.
Just as I thought. Culturally antiquated mug collection. What a weasel.
He was testing you, and you succeeded.
Now let's get down to
Все-таки
brass
смотрели за мной, походу.
It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good. By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the... Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pine...
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest?
He performs a motion as if spraying...
I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill... No, you haven't, Harry. I haven't told you any... Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go... About my fun container? It's a hoot, Harry.
Да я не про
Maybe you'll be in here the next time they move it. But enough about me and my container. The killers the company hired, I think there were... One of them got downright suicidal. Getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your
By negotiator, you mean Joyce?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back.
Да, и
And
кто?
there's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual...
That sounds a bit like organized crime.
Ну да.
They're like you guys.
Ага, ага. Ну да.
Idealistic people who want to make sure back...
Again, that sounds...
So these
ОПГ,
idealists
короче.
killed our...
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, Bob, he probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty.
He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error? Anyway.
Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me to do what I...
Yes, yes. Do you think this weasel is...
Oh, no. I don't cross paths like that. All I want...
Oddly, it seems to be true.
А,
Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't... But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are known to be neat freaks. I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right? Of course, Harry. Stoic silence. I like that. Very befitting a police officer. I'm not a real detective. You are. Oh, Liz is a bright one. I
Лиза.
paid for that law degree
Давай
myself, thinking it will
запишем.
probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry,
Лиза
she came back a
адвокат.
firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Интересно.
Oh, they are simply fine young men.
7
all 7 of
человек.
them. Exemplary union members.
Подожди.
Always working to advance their position in the local
Ага,
socialist
7
democratic
человек.
movement. Core members.
Слушай, Эрвар, а тут, кстати, нестыковочка. К трупу-то подходило 8 человек. Ну как, не к трупу, а к дереву. К дереву подходило 8 человек, а не 7. Не 7, а 8.
Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after him.
Interesting. Who's second in...
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really...
Да,
you
кстати
know what,
говоря.
Harry? I got a feeling they're gonna show up in full...
The lieutenant marks something in his notebook.
Окей, значит, завтра они придут. ОПГ.
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company said these guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company. After
So you believe the scabs were organized?
you said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up.
That does sound quite unlikely. Yes. The big guy leading the scabs at the gate is colossal.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But, yes, Harry, it's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the...
A man of the left. So you have to be a social democrat.
Да, я центрист.
What does your heart tell you about your lost gun, Harry? Does it tell you to forget about it? Or do you think it wants to be
Манипулятор
What you
херов.
didn't tell.
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in Liddell.
It depends. I don't think what we just got...
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm gonna hand you the keys to Martin.
He's saying as little as possible, as vaguely as he can.
Ну, понятно.
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna there's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 on the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills. They are just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings.
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street?
Да, кстати
Am
говоря.
I? Harry, these people, Martinez is the... We're gonna build a youth center there. The value of their properties goes up, and kids have a place to play.
Блин, что мне
You
делать?
bring joy to my heart, Harry. You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is... Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then we can talk about your gun. Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a
I think the odds of that are very low.
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. However, if you did...
Words flow like a river of honey from his... I guess word has already reached him. It's just a brown folder. You can't make out what...
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Да.
Mr. Kitsuragi,
Как бы.
would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost...
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
Ты уже читал документы в папке?
As you look at the folder,
Успех.
Everard covers it with his hand and
А
pets
не
it.
РГМ.
He's hiding it from you.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM.
He got the name from the Census Bureau. And everything else?
Yes, yes, Mr. Kitsuragi, from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I...
That means he doesn't really know
Ну и
anything.
хорошо.
The mystery of you.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to
Класс.
keep up, okay? Let's move on.
Сразу
See
стал
you soon,
раздражительным,
Devada.
кстати говоря. Я вот заметил, как только я ему это... нагнул его манипуляторность, он сразу начал раздражаться.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez. The air suddenly feels calmer, more transparent. It's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
Королевство совести?
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise.
Ой,
It is,
чего нет?
isn't it? History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change. Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs. You may never live to see the kingdom of conscience. Your children may. What rationality? What sang-froid? Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed?
Да.
There you have it. Sometimes holding the line is progress. The kingdom is difficult to partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual.
Блин, ну нифига себе, конечно. Ну давай.
Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and tech? That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Rivershaw. when that real democracy.
У меня одно очко навыков. Давайте это... Еще одну разблокируем. И... Исследуем королевство совести. Мне интересно просто узнать, что это. Блин, нифига тут мыслей, конечно. А у меня ячеек-то совсем не сильно много. Ладно. Так. Ну что ж. Давайте... Что у меня еще есть? 2 подписи, но это в среду, да? Получается... Это неизвестно. Надо поговорить по поводу мусора, по поводу одежды с... этим... Как его? Ну, с барменом в танцах в трепье. Рванье. Танцах. Ну, короче, танцы, да. Вот. И что еще у нас? Найти холодильник. Слушай, тебя случайно не пахнет? Ну ладно. Я думал, ты уборщица, поэтому все дела. Хотя нет, ты садовница, ты не уборщица. О, нифига себе. Ну типа вечер, поэтому так. Людей дофига, это мужик все еще спит.
The worker is in a deep slumber.
Попробуем с Гартом поговорить.
Another thing. Great. Yes. Yes. For the dead body.
Corrected.
Слушайте, холодильник очень важный труп.
I don't care. You're not putting a dead body into my fridge. Because this is a culinary establishment, not a morgue.
It would only be for...
Lieutenant, you too? You're asking too? No. The answer is...
Let's go talk to the freight clerk.
Ну давай. Надеюсь, что она не закрылась пока что. Было бы грустно. Опять нимб над головой летает. Я не могу его закрыть.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything. Wow. I didn't know you worked for the union, sir. Anything else I can do for you?
No, you don't work for the union.
Да.
The union, that was easy. Worryingly so.
A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe.
She scrunches up her face into an...
Fine. For it doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
Окей. Холодильник есть?
Right behind you.
Да, тело.
You're joking, right? Okay. It wouldn't even fit.
Now that I'm looking at it, maybe a glass-doored fridge in a public grocery store isn't...
Вышло.
Okay.
Где я еще видел холодильники? Вопрос. Может быть... О, слушай, может у библиотекарши есть? Ну или как у продавщицы книг? Гард отказался. Продавщица во фрите отказалась. А здесь, кстати, может быть кто-нибудь...
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell. They don't want to talk to you. Silence.
Тишина.
No one answers. Silence. Silence.
Тишина.
You hear static from the intercom speak. You can almost hear them breathe.
Yes, hello. This is Tracy Peniel.
She sounds almost antique. As if her voice... Wait, but what happened to Slipstream SCA? There's no Tricentennial Electrics on the list.
My God.
The lieutenant exchanges.
It's you.
Что?
Oh my God.
She must be mistaking you for someone else. Who cares that you don't remember her? Just go along with it.
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care. Ever since I came to work here,
A spot of static overrides her words.
it's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally...
She sounds like she's about to cry.
Не
She
плачь.
doesn't answer. Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore. Another seagull passes by.
I don't know what happened either. We should probably stop playing with this thing.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call.
Okay.
12 main cards on the call box read. Looks like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter.
Okay.
You wait for him. You ring the doorbell. All you hear is static. But you ring the doorbell. What an ominous name for a hair salon. Doesn't bode well for anyone's hair. An off-key melody starts.
Kudos. Please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time.
She thinks you're the gremlin child. What would he say to this?
Oh, I'm sorry, officer. I thought you were... But the doorbell is broken, and the bookstore shouldn't even be on the list anymore. So I can't...
A single beep indicates that the line has gone dead.
Окей, ладно. О. Что это? Закрыто? Блин. Походу время уже 10 сейчас, да? Это плохо. Луна все еще здесь. Не, ну что ж, я думаю, что в принципе все. Я попробую поговорить с Кимом. Наверное.
No response. He's having trouble processing it, believing it.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs? Fine. We should get through this day first. Off hours begin at 9 p.m. If you're still having trouble then...
Так время уже 9.
Focus on other people.
A moment passes. The lieutenant glances at the sports watch.
Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. That's a fair point. All right, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know? That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seoul. So was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. I don't speak a word of Seolite, and I've never met either one of my grandparents. There is nothing ethnic, I can tell you. That's correct?
You feel a slight urge to put the lieutenant down for this. But you can't quite muster enough testosterone.
I guess you don't need glasses, then. No.
Окей, ладно.
The lieutenant nods.
What do you mean?
Да,
I
типа.
have no idea what you're talking about.
The lieutenant's conceptualization skills must be rather rudimentary.
I can't say that it does, no.
The lieutenant produces his familiar mnemotechnique 8. We all have our different mediums. His...
Good. Let's change.
Так, ну время
Yes?
10, как бы.
Excuse me? You have a distinctive way of walking. If I were to walk in front of you, we would surely collide.
A moment passes.
Так, ну... Поведение итогов скинов... после 10. Понятно. Ладно. То есть все-таки в 10 кончается, а не в 9 рабочий день. Давай, время 9:59. Надеюсь, что ты сейчас прям исчезнешь на моих глазах. Я буду тебя терроризировать. Ну? Не, ну ладно. Давай пойдем тогда в танцы в трепье. Блин, почему так долго 9:59 держится? Интересно.
Yes?
Ладно, давайте проверим. Поставьте это в среду. В среду выпить, заменить боль. Сообщите о потерянном удостоверении. Но здесь ущерб, это, конечно, не вариант пока что тоже. Джойс пока не может сказать. Тоже Джойс не может сказать. Экспертизу рановато. Кто позвонил, неизвестно. Потайный коридор танцев, это неизвестно тоже как. Это тоже понять неизвестно. Я знаю только, что голова находится в море. Холодильник я тоже не нашел. Ботинки не могу снять. Одежду в мусор. Я пытался, кстати, спросить Гарта, он мне ничего не ответил. Давайте попробуем спросить Гарта еще разок.
Can I help you?
Да, ключ давай.
Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my stuff. The trash collection service, CS Municipal.
The elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. Thank you anyway.
Yes.
Окей, вот время 10.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year. You should take care of that, then. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't...
Ну, вообще я знаю, как мне добраться до дома, как бы, технически.
Can I help you?
Давай, насчет денег, которые
Yes.
я тебе должен.
Have you got a lot? For the room and broken window. Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
I understand your predicament as the manager. I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important...
Forgive me for saying this, but your colleagues seem... I mean no offense. It's really nothing personal. I just have to protect the interests of... Not until you bring me them.
Okay. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here.
Окей. Так, это неизвестно, выносить ущерб. Ну, погнали тогда в эту... И битку в твою.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back.
Transport enclosure. Regular people just call it the cage. The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable.
I confiscated this for a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal.
Не, это было
All
неправильно.
right. Let's not take them now. Then come back once.
Sounds likely.
А я могу просто пойти домой, типа, я вот знаю, как бы технически, как мне добраться до дома, так ведь? Типа, где у меня там? Поселка, дорога домой. Погоди мимо 41-го участка, через рынок, мимо идейного центра Буги-стрит к другому берегу озера, замерзшего глаза в центре района, потом мимо видеопарка на углу, там в конце заснеженной сосновой улицы, небольшой, но спичного... не больше спичного коробка домик. Уэджер Роуд, дом 11. Ты здесь больше не живешь. То время давно прошло, людей не осталось. Ну так, блин, а карты у меня нет. И как бы я разобрал. Ладно, хорошо, давайте, короче, тогда разберемся с этим в следующей серии. Где мне ночевать. Поэтому, да. Давайте до следующего раза.